This is a module where we cover the main microeconometric techniques that we use to estimate the causal impact of a certain treatment or a certain policy. And we cover the big five. We cover randomized controlled trials, identification based on observables. We cover difference in differences, instrumental variables, and regression discontinuity design. Nowadays, whatever you do in life, you will need these quantitative skills to understand what are the consequences of different actions. And in this module, we learn the theory of econometrics, so how to think about these problems. But most importantly, what we are going to do constantly is we are going to discuss how to apply them in practice. So in some sense, the biggest challenge to doing econometrics is not so much understanding the theory of the method, but how exactly you tackle a given problem. The main difference of this module is that while we are going to cover econometric theory, because this is of course a necessary condition, we are going to focus on applications, and also we are going to be always trying to use state-of-the-art methods and the most recent developments. So econometrics moves quite fast, fortunately. So things that we thought 10 years ago that they were valid, actually we have realized more recently that we should do them differently. And we are going to discuss how these very recent developments should be applied for these empirical methods. I mean, in all my research, actually, I use the methods that I'm teaching. We were interested in understanding what was the impact of vaccination in the UK on the mental health of individuals. And then again, it's not trivial because people that decide to get vaccinated may be different from the ones that do not want to get vaccinated. So you need to find a credible counterfactual of what would have happened to people if they didn't get vaccinated. And we do in this particular case, we use one of the techniques that we cover in the course, regression discontinuity design, that exploits situations where you have some running variable, in this case it's going to be age, and we exploit that we observe at a certain point of time people that were 50 or older. Practically all of them had been vaccinated, but people that were 49, they were still not vaccinated. And we use this regression discontinuity design to compare just people above this threshold and people just below, and they are just almost identical in everything, except for the fact that if you were just slightly older, you were vaccinated and otherwise not. And this allowed us actually to estimate how they were affected by vaccination. Whatever you do nowadays, you need these quantitative skills. And actually, I hear constantly from my previous students that are working now in the corporate world, in government, and I hear constantly about how useful has been many of the things that we were learning and how they are applying it. Yeah, some of them, they're even asking me if I could teach to their colleagues, and unfortunately I don't have the time.